Hello you lot, welcome back to a new video. Now in today's video we're going to be talking about why the Corolla is going for sale. Now there's quite a few points to this video, I'm not going to lie, but yeah, this is why the Corolla is going for sale. So let's hit it. So yeah guys, I have already listed the car for sale. It's been for sale now for a couple of weeks, and to be quite frank with you, I'm selling this car because I'm not really enjoying it anymore. Now there's several reasons as to why I'm not enjoying this car, and obviously I'll run through them all with you, but yeah, that's why it's going. There is another reason why as well, and this is the most important reason and why I'm so eager to get this car gone. I am sorry about the audio. My mic has just died. It's out of battery. So that makes stuff awkward, but I've taken this shot now probably about 6 times and had different issues each time. So I really do hope you can hear me. I am genuinely shouting. But yeah, reason number one as to why I want to sell this car and why this car is for sale is because of how much it costs to run. Now don't get me wrong, I can afford to run this car, because I know you guys are going to run to the comments and say, ha ha ha, you can't afford to run an old Toyota. Well, that's not the case, because I can, and I have done for nigh on a year now. It's just, this car costs a lot to run, and I don't really get satisfaction in return. So, just to give you a quick breakdown, this car is £28 a month in road tax, which is about 330 quid for the year. This car cost me £35 a week in fuel to do 19 miles a day, getting to and from work. Now don't get me wrong, I don't mind spending that much on fuel, providing that I enjoy driving the car, but this car doesn't give me the thrills that spending that money would warrant, if that makes sense. Now obviously this car's contender is the Honda Civic EP3 Type R, and whereas this car feels very solid to drive, you know, it's got nice weighted steering, the clutch is quite heavy, the brakes are quite mechanical, you know, the accelerator is cable throttle. So, you know, you can feel what the car's doing, and it feels, the feedback you get from the car is brilliant. But all of that weight that I like to feel as a driver's car gets transferred to the arse end, and that's where it slacks. This car feels very heavy to drive. Now, like I said, the contender to this car is a Honda Civic EP3 Type R. And whereas that car doesn't feel the same to drive up front, it's got electronic power steering, electronic throttle, stuff like that, it also has a very light arse end. It is very nimble, very nippy, very playful, and very joyous to drive. It's just, I don't like electronic assists. And for that reason alone, the lack of thrills this car gives me, that's one reason as to why this car is going for sale. Reason number two as to why this car is up for sale now is because of how much it is regarding parts. Now, just trying to find like OE replacement parts and stuff is hard enough for this car. Now this car, like cars should do, failed its MOT back in December. Not saying cars should fail every MOT, obviously, that's bad. But from time to time, cars will fail MOTs. Or, you know, at least have advisories that need fixing and stuff. This car failed because it needed a top mount and some actual bushes for the rear. And the garage that MOT'd my car, the garage that I trust MOTing my cars all the time, struggled to find the parts to fix this. And in the end, after labour and parts, this car cost me £500 to get done and get through an MOT. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind spending that sort of money, but the fact that I don't even enjoy this car in the first place is a reason as to why it sort of opened my eyes. And when you look at other OE replacement parts for this car as well, they also come with a premium price tag, depending on what the part is. And I mean, all of that for, honestly, an older Toyota Corolla, it's not really worth it in my eyes, especially because I don't enjoy it in the first place. Now obviously, my plan was to basically turn this into a track toy like I did with the Yaris. And even aftermarket parts for this car are, number one, hard to come by. They're harder, some parts are harder to find than parts for the Yaris were. And also they come with a lot more of a premium price tag, which I'm not willing to pay, considering the fact that I already don't enjoy the car. That's why this car sort of phased out of my channel and I put more time towards Chloe Swift and stuff like that, because I just couldn't justify spending the money on the parts that I wanted for this car when I don't really enjoy it in the first place. Now that's not to say that this car is a shit car and you shouldn't buy it, because truthfully you should, but let's go to a different angle and let's move on to that. So yeah, that is pretty much it as to why this car is going for sale. It is just how much it costs for the lack of thrills it gives me. Now there is one other reason as well, which I'm going to jump into at the end of this video, because this is humongous news. This is probably, without a doubt, the biggest thing that I'm doing on this channel this year alone, and the biggest thing that I have probably ever done. But we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, let's just summarise this car. Now, if you are looking for a cheaper alternative to an EP3 Type R, hands down, I can't recommend this car enough. Like, this car is brilliant. You know, it does everything I'd expect it to do. It's fast, it does handle well despite being quite boring in the corners, and stuff like that. It's just, if you're looking for cheap thrills, this probably isn't the car for you, because a lot of the parts and stuff like that that you pay for this car come at a premium price, it being a specialised performance car. And also as well, it is quite rare, so trying to find these parts is hard as well. There are a couple of websites that I know of for the performance parts and a few OE parts, but again, they do come with premiums, and like I said, me personally, and now this is just my personal view, I can't justify spending that money, especially because there are other cars on my bucket list that will be cheaper to modify, easier to modify, and part availability will be more regular. But don't let this video put you off of buying one of these, or at least experiencing one of these, because truthfully, if you want to, go for it. Like, it is well worth it. It's just, this is my personal experience with this car, this is how I personally feel about this car. Doesn't mean that you guys will feel the same. You guys may absolutely love this car, or these cars, but for me, you know, I've had it in nearly a year. It is a bucket list car. It was my dream hot hatch. I am proud to say that I've owned it. I am happy I've owned it. It's just, with what's coming up, which I'm going to talk to you about in a second, this car isn't really for me in my circumstances at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong, we may in the future revisit a Corolla T-Sport, but for now, with my circumstances, what I've got coming up and my requirements, this car just isn't for me. I do want to fully build one of these and hopefully see if it changes my opinions, but for now I've got something quite big coming up that I need to prepare for. So let's hop inside the car where it's nice and warm and let's talk about that. Oh, it feels nice to be sat down. Well, I say sat down, it feels nice to be somewhere warm. So yeah, the big news, and I'm now revealing this because I have finally paid the deposit to do this. This has actually been in the making now for nearly a year, this thing that I'm going to talk about. And that is that me and a few of my friends and a few of my friends' friends are going on a trip to the Nürburgring this year. Now, obviously, you know, the reason why, I suppose the main reason why I'm actually selling this car, and I'm not ploughing any more money into it, is because I want to build a diesel to take on this trip. I want to build a VAG diesel, you know, something like a Fabia VRS or something like that, to take on this trip and have a blast with. Now, whereas, yeah, this Corolla probably has potential to do the trip and to be a good car, as I went over in this video, I just can't justify spending the money. I mean, with VAG cars, obviously, Graham knows VAG cars inside out, so he can help me build it, and he's more than on board. He keeps sending me VAG cars that I should buy that he wants to help me out with. So he's more than on board. The friends that we're going with know a lot about VAG cars as well. So, you know, I just feel it's easier for me to go down that route, at least at this time, to get a car built ready for going to the Nürburgring. Now, I don't know how far we're going to get into the build. I might just try and buy a car that's already been modified and just tweak it. I think that'll probably be the easiest way. I don't usually like taking other people's projects or work. I'd rather do it for myself. But I think it's probably going to be the quickest and easiest way. And the fact that a lot of these built cars are relatively cheap and come with a lot of decent parts, I think that's probably going to be the best route to take for now. So yeah, I am on a lookout for one of these cars. Like I said, I've got a few ideas in mind, one of them being a Fabia VRS. But I was just thinking, you know, I get fuel economy, I get performance, they're playful cars, you know, it's just an all-round good package for this trip. And to be fair, that is the main and the biggest reason why I'm selling the Corolla. And yeah, like I said, the other reasons that I said about within this video, whereas they are true and can be true to an extent, don't let it put you off of buying one of these if you want one. Like, genuinely, I have enjoyed every moment of owning this car. It's just I haven't gelled with it as much as I thought, and because I've got this trip coming up now, I don't want to sort of force myself to gel with this car, force myself to build it when I don't really want to, at least at the moment. And yeah, that's pretty much it really. But overall, I have enjoyed my ownership of this car. I love this car to pieces. It puts a smile on my face when I do drive it, even though it isn't, you know, fun where I want it to be. You know, I've enjoyed doing like pulls with it and like experiencing lift and driving it like that. I have really enjoyed it. It's just with the circumstances that are coming my way and coming my way at a rate of knots, this car just isn't for me right now. So that is the main and the biggest reason why this car is going for sale. Now, like I said, the other reasons I gave within this video, if you are looking to buy one of these cars, just bear them in mind. Don't let it put you off, you know, or anything like that. Just bear these in mind, because these are factors that come into obviously owning this car. They are quite expensive to run. They don't handle as well as an EP3, and that is truthful. And a lot of the parts that you would probably want to put on this car do come at a premium, and some parts are quite hard to find. Some parts even more so than like a Yaris or whatever. But yeah, overall these are really good cars. And I wanted a way where I could sort of blag and boast on, as well as giving you guys information and then hitting you with a humongous bombshell. And I thought that this would probably be the best way to do it. So yeah, my Corolla T-Sport is for sale. It is for sale for 3095, or swap for obviously a VAG diesel. I have been in hard contact with quite a few people over Facebook with cars, and unfortunately haven't been able to work out a deal as of yet. But if you guys are interested and want to buy this, please do hit me up with a message on Facebook or Instagram, or send me an email. I'll leave all the details of this car in the description down below as well, so you guys can read the full advert on it. And yeah, so I hope you guys did enjoy that bombshell at the end. And I'd also do hope that this did help you out to an extent with buying or not buying one of these cars, because I know that there is quite a few bits of information people do want to know. But yeah, like I said, this whole Nürburgring trip has been sort of in action now for almost as long as I've had this Corolla, which is why I've sort of built it then stopped building it, then started building it. You know, that's why the content's been a bit slack on this car, because I really didn't know what to do, whether to continue building this or not. But I think my decision is I'm not going to go any further with this car. This car is for sale, and I do want a VAG diesel for this trip. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to slap a like on it. Comment down below what you think of the Nürburgring trip. Comment down below if this has helped you out as well with choosing whether to buy or not buy one of these cars. And more importantly, hit that subscribe button. Obviously, we have a big trip coming up now. I'm pretty sure you guys want to see the progress on whatever car I choose to take on this trip, how I build it, stuff like that. Because there are big things coming this way. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.